Meghan had gone rogue. She bypassed protocols, ignored professional advice, and doubled down on a campaign that nobody else believed in. Her team saw it as career suicide. She saw it as the only way to take back control. The real irony? This was all sparked by a video most people had already moved on from. That original pregnancy clip, mocked for its awkward angles and odd baby bump, was fading from memory. But instead of letting it die, Meghan brought it roaring back and then tried to clown it with a pillow and a punchline. All she really did was remind everyone why they stopped paying attention in the first place. Even her inner circle was getting uneasy. One insider claimed that Meghan had become obsessed with going viral again. Not for the sake of art or message, but just for the sake of being she's measuring everything by how many comments she can spark, not by whether it's good. The deeper she went, the more isolated she became. Even people who had been on her side for years started asking the same question: what's the end game here? Because if the goal was respect or redemption or even just relevance, this wasn't it. This was something else entirely. And it wasn't looking good. The Instagram rollout was supposed to be slick. Meghan had mapped out the launch down to the minute. Graphics, captions, scheduled posts, the whole deal. But when the time came to post the video, nothing happened. Silence. Apparently, her agent had blocked access to the content management dashboard, locking her out of the planned upload. A digital standoff had begun. She fired back, even a veiled threat about moving in a different direction. Her team stayed firm. They weren't going to be accessories to something that could destroy her brand beyond repair. Meghan, however, wasn't interested in brand preservation anymore. She wanted a moment, something that would jolt the internet, and she was convinced this video was it. So she did what she always does when doors start closing. She found another route. She contacted a small boutique media agency in Los Angeles that specializes in controversial campaigns and viral shock content. They were more than happy to help. Within 48 hours, they'd helped her plan a surprise leak strategy, bypassing her team entirely. If the video couldn't be posted on her official account, she'd accidentally leak it to a gossip page with a massive following and let it spread just as she intended. A 3-minute video shot in someone's dimly lit living room, with Meghan lip-syncing a custom-written rap, fake baby bump and all. She dances, she laughs, she yanks the pillow out like she's unveiling a grand magic trick, and then the punchline: this one's fake, the other one wasn't. Still want to talk? Fade to black. Within hours, it had millions of views, but not the kind of views she wanted. The internet exploded with secondhand embarrassment, memes flooded Twitter, reaction videos popped up within the hour. One YouTuber called it the worst attempt at a self-own since Ja Rule tried to clap back at Eminem. Another said, "I can't tell if this is a parody of herself or just her being dead serious. Either way, I need to bleach my
Meghan.
eyes." Season 2 had just wrapped reshoots and was headed into final editing. Executives were furious. There were crisis meetings. Ted Sarandos reportedly demanded an internal review of the Sussex deal, and whether Meghan had breached any terms by releasing content that could damage the platform's reputation. Brands that were considering partnerships suddenly ghosted. PR agencies started distancing themselves. And the worst part, Meghan thought it had worked. She posted a smug Instagram story with a quote about taking back power through authenticity, completely unaware that she'd just torched whatever goodwill she had left. Meanwhile, Prince Harry, quiet throughout this entire mess, was said to be mortified. Friends close to the couple claimed he begged her not to release the video. He warned her it would backfire. He even tried to get their old publicist involved to clean things up. But Meghan wasn't her fire to play with. In the end, the video wasn't a comeback. It wasn't edgy. It wasn't even funny. It was just sad. A desperate move by someone who once had the world at her feet, now dancing alone in front of a phone camera, trying to reclaim something that slipped through her fingers a long time ago. Meghan wanted to remind people she was still here. And she did, but not in the way she hoped. Not with respect, not with applause, just a sea of digital laughter, and not the kind that claps with you, the kind that claps at you, desperate when your big comeback plan involves a fake pregnancy bump and a rap track. Meghan Markle, once the shining symbol of royal rebellion, is now spiraling so hard that even her own team is trying to slam the brakes. But let's rewind for a second. What exactly is going on behind the curtain of Meghan's crumbling social media circus? So apparently, Meghan thought the best way to bounce back from the endless criticism she's been facing, especially from that infamous pregnancy video that went viral for all the wrong reasons, was to double down. Not with an apology, not with a classy clapback, but with what she believed would be a clever parody. A whole new video where she lip-syncs to rap music, dances around with a huge baby bump, then rips a pillow out from under her shirt and smugly declares, "This video was fake, but the other one wasn't. How's that for authenticity? You can't make this stuff up." The idea, at least in Meghan's mind, was to use self-deprecating humor to win over the haters. Reverse psychology, she called it, but her manager and agent were far from impressed. In fact, they were so horrified by the plan that they went straight to Netflix to raise the alarm. And when your own team turns on you mid-campaign, you know the ship is going down fast. What makes it even messier is how much effort Meghan actually put into this. She didn't just shoot some silly editors, a couple of songwriters, and even tried to create a whole original rap for the clip. This wasn't a throwaway idea. It was the pilot episode of a 20-part Instagram campaign she planned to run over the next year. 20 videos, one every few weeks, all part of her grand plan to rebrand herself and snatch back some relevance. But here's the kicker. This whole thing was done behind the backs of the people who are supposed to help guide her career. Her team only found out after footage was already shot, and when they saw what she was actually doing, they flipped. No strategy, no professionalism, just a desperate stab at virality, wrapped in bad taste and tone-deaf execution. People close to her reportedly warned her that she was lighting a match next to a gas already made her a punchline. This parody version, it could completely torch what little credibility she had left. But Meghan didn't care. She was determined to go full send on this parody project, claiming it would shut down the trolls and remind people she's in control of her own narrative. What's even wilder is that the footage wasn't filmed in a studio or on a proper set. It looked like someone's random living room. Maybe hers, maybe someone from her inner circle. Either way, it had the energy of a college student filming a TikTok skit at 2 a.m. And the fact that Meghan, an ex-royal who once had the world's eyes on her, thought this was going to rebuild her brand is just sad. Even the timing was reckless. Netflix is racing to wrap up reshoots for With Love viral mess hovering over the show like a storm cloud. Yet, Meghan allegedly warned Netflix execs that once her contract ends, she'll release the parody video anyway. Doesn't matter what anyone says, October is when she plans to drop it, with or without support. Netflix wasn't just worried, they were furious. Executives caught wind of the video and immediately flagged it as a potential PR nightmare. Meghan's team, now scrambling, tried to convince her to shelve the whole thing. But she dug in. According to insiders, she saw it as a bold move. In her words, everyone's going to talk about it either way. Might as well control the narrative. But what she didn't realize was just how much damage she was about to do, especially to herself. The reaction inside Netflix headquarters taken heat for signing the Sussexes in the first place was reportedly briefed on the situation in private. There was talk about whether they could pull the plug on season 2 entirely if this video surfaced before the premiere. One executive was quoted saying, "She's poking the bear. She's not mocking herself. She's mocking us, our brand, our viewers." And here's where things start to get even more ridiculous. Meghan didn't just want to post this parody and walk away. She wanted to launch it as the flagship piece of a whole new identity, a reinvention. The plan was to frame herself as the misunderstood underdog who finally embraces the joke, owns it, and claps back with sass and confidence. It might have worked if she weren't already knee-deep in controversy and burned out goodwill, caught wind of the idea early and were quick to call it out for what it was, performative damage control dressed up as empowerment. People online began roasting the leaked concept, mocking everything from the pillow gag to the cringy rap angle. "You can't parody what you never admitted," one viral comment read. Another said, "This is what happens when your PR team gives up." But Meghan wasn't backing down. She'd already started reaching out to micro-influencers and TikTok creators, trying to get them on board to support and hype the video when it dropped. Some declined. A few said they didn't want to touch that level of weird energy. Even her usual defenders in the press started going quiet. At the same time, her relationship with her agent and manager was hitting rock bottom. Sources say the trust was already shaky, but this video shattered it.